up a division within the group. And sometimes, brothers and sisters, things do get stirred up. Amen. Even among Christian folk. Amen. Are y'all with me?
Amen.
And so Paul said to Barnabas, since he's your cousin, you take him with you. And then Paul chose, you know who Paul chose, right? Silas to go with him. And so sometimes, brothers and sisters, when God has given you an assignment, and people don't want to go with you, you have to separate yourself from those who don't want to go with you. And sometimes, brothers and sisters, it just makes good sense to understand that where you're going, everybody can't go with you.
Amen.
Is that right? Amen. And so it was John Mark who wrote this gospel. And when you look at verse 13 tells us that the men who approached Jesus came from two very different groups that held opposing beliefs. The Pharisees were the religious conservatives of the day. They were very legalistic in that they tried to keep the very letter of the law of God perfectly. The very name Pharisees mean the separatists. And still they were marked by pride and self-righteousness. They were often rebuked by Jesus because their religious activities were merely external in nature. They had no real faith relationship with God. And yet the Pharisees were very nationalistic in their political views. They hated being under the Roman rules and wanted to be free from it. The Herodians were a political party among the Jews who were supporters of King Herod. They enjoyed the benefits they received because of the Roman occupation. While the Romans controlled their country, the people enjoyed religious freedom, protection, and prosperity. King Herod supported the Romans and sought to bring Roman culture to Israel. And normally these two groups, Daniel, had nothing to do with one another. They were polar opposite. They hated one another. Yet when they came together for the common goal of destroying Jesus, they were all right with each other. Y'all ain't talking. People can be stone enemies against each other. But when you become the target, they'll team up to do you in. Are y'all with me? There are two forces that have the power to unite people for either good or evil. Those forces are love and hate. I've seen love unite people for the common good, and I've seen hate unite people in a quest to destroy others. These men were brought together in their common hatred of the Lord Jesus, who they saw as a threat to their way of life. I wish I had an amen in the room. When a preacher stands to preach the gospel. Oh, let me move on. Sadly, you see these same conspiracies. You see these same conspiracies in church life. People unite in their frustration and aggravation. They will come together for the common goal of getting rid of a pastor they don't like. Or undermining people they don't agree with. When those kind of activities take place, they are certainly not of God. They are work of the flesh. The church and church people should be united by the bond of love. Amen. When we are controlled by love, we will seek good and not evil. Amen. Is that right? Mount Calvary, may love be our calling card as we travel through this world. Y'all ain't praying. Jesus said to his disciples, if you love one another, by this the world shall know that you are my disciples. Are y'all with me? Come on. It didn't say you sing together. Anybody can sing together, but do you love each other? Yes, sir. These men came together in an effort to catch Jesus and his own words. Well, preacher, what you gonna preach about? I want to talk about what God deserves. Are y'all with me? Amen. This is the second challenge of attack by leaders against Jesus. The words took counsel indicate that the ruling body of the Jews, the Sanhedrin, held an official meeting. Amen. They plotted how they might deal with this man who was claiming to be the Messiah. And here he is talking about, when you have seen the Father, and when you have seen me, you have also seen the Father. For he and I are one. They kind of looked at him, man, you out of your mind. You couldn't take it. So they plotted how they might deal with Jesus. They feared Christ, for he was gathering the loyalty of the people so strongly around him. I want to say to somebody, when God called you into a ministry and people start following you, you better look out. Because there are going to be some folk who don't like the fact that they're following you. I wish I could get 2 amen over here. Yeah. Their plot was to ask him a question about a person's citizenship. The question was supposed to entangle him in his talk. That is, it was supposed to be impossible for Christ to answer without discrediting himself, either with the people or with the Roman authorities. If he discredited himself with the people, they would react and desert him. If he discredited himself with the Romans, they would arrest him, and their problems would have been solved. Christ is the Messiah, the Son of God. Therefore, he saw through their plot. Christ used the occasion to teach the truth about citizenship. A truth which was both astounding and earth-shaking to the people of that day. Earth-shaking because the Jews believed that the loyalty of citizens belonged only to God. And the rest of the world believed that loyalty belonged to the ruling monarch of the territory. Christ is astound the world of his day by declaring there was an earthly, physical citizenship to which some things are to be given. And there was a spiritual, heavenly citizenship to which some things are to be given. Amen. Those who were trying to trick or entangle Jesus were wicked. Amen. And they were hypocrites. Amen. I say they were hypocrites. Amen. They were pretending something that they were not. All right. They were pretending to be something they were not. Amen. They were pretending to seek the truth when they were not really after the truth. Amen. They were pretending to honor him when they really did not. Amen. Everything they said about Christ was true. He's master. He was truthful. He was a teacher from God. He did not care what men said about him. He did not regard men person. In other words, he didn't play favoritism. I wish I had a praying church. They did not mean that they did not mean what they were professing that. They were confessing about him. What they were professing about him was coming from an evil motive. They wanted to use him and to secure their own selfish purposes. Let me serve notice on your Mount Calvary. Let me serve notice on you. Deception, the lowest kind of deception, can come from flattery words. They'll tell you what they want you to hear. They'll tell you all that you are. And if you're not careful, preach, Kelly. Let's go ahead and preach. Get them out here by 12. Go ahead and preach.
All right.
You would do well to watch out for those people who are always trying to flatter you.
Amen.
One Greek philosopher said, it is better to fall among crows than flirts. For those, listen, when you fall upon crows, the crows only want that which is dead. When you fall upon flutters, they want those who are living to be devoured. How true that is. Y'all ain't praying this morning. There are people all around us who are trying to get us on their side through flattery. Oh, Lord. They try to help me, Holy Ghost. They try to come up on us with their tricky words. Are y'all with me? Listen, they try to trick us in the use of excessive compliments. Be aware of those who are trying to flatter you. They're dangerous, and ultimately they will turn on you. Flattery is all right as long as you don't inhale it. Are y'all with me? We can think we are so smart that we have a better plan than God. Rationalization is not reality. And flawed reason only leads to phony redemption.
Amen.
It happened in Jesus' days. It still happens today. And it still does not work. The Pharisees tried to entrap Jesus. They were looking for an easy way out, a way to rid themselves of this troubling rabbi who spoke of God in personal terms. Look at your neighbor and say, watch out.
Watch out.
For people who come to you asking questions about your belief.
Amen.
Watch out. Some may sincerely be seeking truth. But most, however, have seen something in you that they disagree with. They're not coming for information, but coming for confrontation. It always makes me a little bit nervous when someone approaches me with an off-the-wall question. You can tell by the way they come to you and begin the conversation that they're going to try to prove you wrong.
Amen.
They ask him a question that would put the law of Caesar in tension with the law of God. What they did not understand, and many still do not, is that God wants commitment rather than compromise.
Amen.
God is out to save our soul, not pick our pockets. And talk about some petty religion. Is that right?
Amen.
Well, Christ calls us to give to God what God rightly deserves.
Yes, sir.
God is worthy of our worship. Is that right? Give to God the thing that are God's due.
Amen.
Tell you Mount Carey, the divine merits of our loyalty belong to God. Our praise belong to God.
Yes, sir.
The celebration of our life belong to God. Yes, in God's creation, we have to give him praise. I don't know about you, but every time I can see a sunrise, I got to give him the praise. Every time I see the moon in the sky, I got to give him praise. Every time, I'm going to make this simple, y'all. Every time I put one foot in front of the other, I got to praise him. Because there's so many who can't do that. Every time I can take my hand and take the food from my plate and put it in my mouth.
Thank you, Lord. There you go. Thank you, Jesus.
I got to praise him. Do I have any praisers in the house?
Hallelujah.
Is God worthy of your praise?
Yes, he is.
It's not something that you have to give, but you owe it to God. Every time, excuse me, I said I'm gonna make it simple. Every time, I said every time,
Every time.
when you're sick in your body, and God keep on blessing you anyhow. When you look around, so many of your friends are gone, but you're still here. Is God all right?
Yes, God's all
Is he all
right.
right?
God's all right.
Put him in there and gone. But the Lord allowed you to live on. Say yes. Is he all right?
God's all
Is
right.
anybody want to worship our God?
Yeah.
I don't know why people are sleeping now. It's time to worship our God. When he brought you into the house this morning, it's time to worship our God. Excuse me here. Let me talk to some folks over here. Has God ever turned anything around for you? Let me talk to some over here. If he has not turned it around, but you expected him to turn it around, you ought to give the Lord some praise. Is God all right?
God's all right.
He's due our worship.
Yes, he is.
He's due our praise.
Yes.
Is God all right?
God's all right.
I said, is he all right?
God's all right.
Excuse me here, but is there anybody sitting here who want to look back over your life and see what the Lord has done for you? Is there anybody here feel like raising a hand and realizing that our God is a great God? Is there anybody here who know the Lord has brought you a mighty long way? I don't know where I am. I'm not where I should be, but I praise book today.
Amen.
Amen. There's a whole lot more time left.
Yeah.
But I want to say to you, Mount Calvary, you don't know how blessed you are.
Thank you, Lord.
You don't know how blessed you are.
Yes.
You're in real good shape.
Yeah.
You've been walking around complaining all week. Why don't you look at the folks in the area where the hurricane tore up?
Yeah.
Look at the people in Houston.
Yeah.
Look at the people in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We don't have no reason to complain. You have to raise your voice. Our folks don't even have clothes to put on. Look at you.
Yeah.
Looking all bad and looking all good. Listen. Excuse me here. I'm done. But you can't
Thank you, Lord.
just sit down
Uh-huh.
and look pious
Yeah.
without thanking God
Thank you, Lord.
for things being as well as they are. Now come on. Now
Amen.
come on.
Amen.
He deserves it.
Amen.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
Thank you, Lord.
He deserves it. Look, listen. Let me tell you something. You might take this lightly, but let me tell you something. When you give him the praise that he's due,
Amen.
he's setting you up
Yeah.
for a blessing. Tell you now, Calvin, you haven't seen nothing yet. The best is yet to come. He just setting you up. Tell somebody this is a setup. This is a setup. He's going to open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that there shall not be enough to receive it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Y'all just ignore me, okay? But I feel something happening.
Yeah.
And I feel blessings falling all around me.
Thank you, Lord.
And what I want to do is just reach out
That's right. Pull your blessing down. Thank you,
and
Lord.
claim my blessing.
Yeah.
One by one. God bless you, Brother Thomas.
Amen.
Come on here. Touch your neighbor. Touch your neighbor. Say, neighbor. From this time forward. Make sure. You give God. What's due him. Yes.
Amen. 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 Amen.
Yes.
God what is his due, which is your life. Will there be one today? We extend to you the opportunity for salvation. Will there be one today? There may be someone here that is in a backslidden situation. We extend to you an opportunity to come back home. Will there be one today? And then there may be someone here that is looking for a church home. We extend to you the opportunity now to join Mount Calvary Baptist Church. Will there be one? The first call is for a relationship with God by way of salvation. The second call is to the backslider who is so thankful that God didn't leave them where they were, but is giving them another opportunity to get it right. Will there be one? And then for the one that is looking for a church home, we extend to you the opportunity to join